Son of Goines, King Yalanov, Crime Partners, Chapter 4. It was past 2 o'clock in the afternoon when Billy and Jackie started to get up. Jackie remained stretched out in the bed even after he heard Billy up and around in the next bedroom. The picture of the killings that had occurred the past evening was still in Jackie's mind. He wondered if Billy was ever bothered by the images of the people they had killed. It was something Jackie couldn't get out of his system. That's why he believed he'd never be a real killer. Not the kind of cold-blooded killer you saw in the movies or on television. Why don't you run down to the drugstore and get the morning paper, Billy? Maybe they got something in it about us. In a second, Billy's head appeared in Jackie's doorway. There you go again, man, looking for them headlines. Billy sat on the edge of his partner's bed. Look, baby, if you want to see yourself or read about yourself in the paper, we got to take off the big one. These little petty capers like last night, they won't even make the back paper, let alone the front page. For a brief minute, Jackie remained silent, staring up from the bed at his partner. Is that all last night was to you, Billy? Just another caper? Is that all, man? Billy stared at him strangely. What's this shit, man? I don't dig where you coming from. Of course that's all it was, a caper. If you thinking about that couple, think about that kid and what them funky motherfuckers did to her. Think about that, Jackie. About the expression on her face when she died. Then if you have any pity left, tell me about it. I read you loud and clear, Billy. That's all I needed to get my thinking cap on right too. But I'd still like to see if there was anything in the papers about us. Billy grinned at his friend. I know, nigga. By the time you got out of the bed, they'd be done sold out of papers. Then we'd have to wait for the evening paper to come out. Okay, my man? I'll be your flunky this time, but I don't promise you the same kind of action this time tomorrow. The men laughed together. Then Billy got up and went to go out and get the paper. While he was gone, Jackie climbed out of the bed and took a quick shower. He wished he had a blow. One quick snort would really put his think cap on right. The more he thought about it, the more he wanted some dope. Jackie paced up and down the apartment wearing nothing but a huge white towel. Suddenly he made up his mind. Picking up the phone, he dialed the number of an apartment 2 floors above the one he lived in. He knew the woman upstairs had some drugs. That wasn't the problem. The problem was getting her to bring it downstairs. As a last resort, he reasoned he could always slip on something and run up the stairs and get it himself. Hello, Lucy? Hey, baby, this is Jackie. You know, Jackie, the tall guy who stays downstairs under you? Baby, yeah. I thought you realized who this was. Look, honey, would you do me a favor? No, baby, let me finish. I don't want any credit. No, nothing like that. When I say favor, I just mean I'd like to ask if you would send me a $25 package down here. I'm kind of tied up right now, or I'd run up myself and get it. He held the phone closely as he listened, then cut her off. Listen, woman, I don't play games. Your money is here. I'm just asking you to do me a favor and send it down. I don't care who brings it, you or the man in the moon. I just don't give a fuck. All I want is the stuff. Hey, wait a minute, mama. I ain't no petty nigga. Nah, baby, if I was gonna rip off something, it would be a hell of a lot bigger than a $25 bag. Again, he waited patiently until she stopped talking. Then he inquired sharply. Listen, baby, if I wasn't tied up, I'd have to run upstairs and got it. By now, I could have been upstairs and back. But if you ain't gonna do it, just say so. All this bullshit you taking me through ain't worth it. I asked you to do me a favor. Whether or not you do it is up to you. Are you gonna send it or not? For an instant, Jackie started to slam the receiver down on the woman. Then he curbed his temper. Listen, girl, I just got out of the shower and I ain't got no clothes on. If you're gonna send it right now. If it ain't here by the time I get dressed, I'll figure it ain't coming. With that said, he slammed the phone down and stalked back to his closet. He rummaged through the few clothes hanging up inside. There wasn't much to choose from, because Jackie wasn't what you would call a dresser. In fact, he rarely went out of his way to buy clothes. Only when Billy went shopping and dragged him along would he pick out something. He had 2 suits and 4 pairs of straight pants, plus a variety of shirts, and a few clothes were in various conditions, with some dirty, while others are still in cleaner bags. Without really caring what he wore, Jackie removed a dark blue pair of pants from the closet and put them on quickly. He was in the process of picking out a clean shirt when the doorbell rang. Without bothering to put the shirt on, he walked back into the front room and jerked the door open. The sudden opening of the door took the woman by surprise. Her mouth opened and she gave a frightened little yell before gaining control of herself. She must have really been frightened after all, Jackie reasoned as he stared down at her. The bitch really thought I was planning on knocking her off for the fucking $25 bag, he thought as he examined her frightened face. Come on in for a second, honey, Jackie said softly as he reached out and took her hand. I just slipped these goddamn pants on and left my bankroll in the bedroom. He almost dragged the plump, brown-skinned woman into the living room. Just relax, Lucy. I ain't going to be but a minute, he stated, dropping her hand. Make yourself at home. Have a seat, relax, take the weight off your feet. Lucy finally managed to find her voice. No, I don't have the time. I left the kids by themselves because I knew it wouldn't take but a minute for me to run down here and drop this off. She had to raise her voice because he had disappeared into the bedroom. In a second, Jackie reappeared carrying the money in his hand. Thanks, Lucy. I appreciate you bringing the stuff down here, honey. If I hadn't just come out of the shower, I wouldn't have put you through so much trouble. She took the money from his outstretched hand. It wasn't no trouble, really. You know, Jackie, I ain't got but a few customers, so I sure didn't want to make you angry with me. She stood up to go, then added, Sometimes, Slim, when you ain't doing nothing, come on up and keep me and the kids company. I'll lay out the blow for you. As she started to the door, Jackie glanced at the heavy hip swinging back and forth. Not bad, he reasoned. She was in her early 30s, still built fairly well, and hadn't had but 3 kids. The woman was probably lonely, plus half scared to death. It was dangerous selling drugs even for a man. A woman dealing for herself was open game. It took a hell of a lot of nerve. I might just take you up on that, Lucy, he said quietly as he held the door open for her. She slipped the small package into his hand, smiled brightly up at him, then walked away, swinging her hips even more than before. Well, I'll be a motherfucker. I ain't gone over 5 minutes and this cocksucker done pulled a big hip broad, Billy roared as he came down the hall. Jackie cursed under his breath. He had wanted to get into the package before Billy returned. Not that Billy would have wanted any, but he just hadn't wanted Billy to know he had it. Billy closed the door behind him. Ain't that the old bitch who deals upstairs? He inquired as he flopped down in the nearest chair. Yeah, Billy. I had her bring me a small blow. You care for a little too? Jackie asked as he opened up the tinfoil and dumped the white powder out. Billy shook his head. Nah, man. It's way too early in the day for me. That shit would have me puking up and down the street. I couldn't take care of no kind of business whatsoever. Actually, Billy Good, I don't know you had any business to take care of today. In fact, I was under the impression this was going to be our day off. That's why I bought this bag. Billy mumbled while he coldly reflected that it was getting to where any reason was an excuse for Jackie to get a bag. I ran into Kenyatta's woman while I was at the store. She said the dude was in shape, so you can drop by there and pick up some pieces that we need. Tearing off a piece of his matchbox cover, Jackie folded it until he had made a small shovel. Then he used it to push the heroin into his nose. He waited until he had snorted over half the pile. I wonder how much Kenyatta is going to charge us for some guns this time. I swear that black bastard jacked the price every time we buy from him, Jackie stated, his voice dragging as he spoke. He began to scratch his nuts as he added, I wish we had another connect somewhere. Man, don't nothing make you happy. You got one of the coolest gun connects in the fucking world, yet you ain't satisfied. You still complain. Billy shrugged his shoulders, then continued, I don't care who we deal with, they ain't gonna be no better than Kenyatta. You can bet your motherfucking ass on it too. I don't know why you dig the cat so much, Billy. When we hit on him to loan us 2 good men so that we could take off that big caper, what did the guy do? He went to Nut City on us. That's what the motherfucker did. If he'd been cool, we'd would be rolling in bread right now. I don't know about that, Jackie. He might still go along with it. It depends on certain things being right, that's all. Both men fell silent and Jackie snorted a small pile of dope before saying, well, ain't no sense in us laying around the pad all day. Let's make some kind of move. It's okay with me, Billy replied quickly. Let's go over and check on the guns first. After that, I'm gonna find me some soul food. 10 minutes later, the men came out of the apartment. They climbed into a black Ford that Billy had rented the day before. Billy drove slowly, following the traffic until they reached Clay Street. He parked in front of the storefront building that had an apartment over it. 4 young black men were loitering in front of the building, and they watched the 2 men get out of the car with a casual interest. What's happening, brothers? Billy said as they came abreast of the men. The group of brothers nodded in return. You guys know whether or not Kenyatta is on the set? Billy inquired as he stopped in front of the group. Yeah, brother, he's right inside, one of the men said quietly, then added, what you guys want with him? The question took Billy by surprise, but Jackie answered for both of them. Hey, brother, your name ain't Kenyatta, is it? Jackie asked the man sharply, then he added before the man could reply, no, I don't think so, and pushed open the door. The group could only stare at the back of the tall man as he went through the door last. Billy glanced back over his shoulder at Jackie, who winked at him, causing both men to break out laughing. The inside of the building was furnished cheaply. There were wooden chairs in the outside waiting room, along with an old worn desk that had seen better days. On the walls were pictures of Che, Ho Chi Minh, and other men of color who were dedicated leaders of various revolutions. A young black girl sat behind the desk reading a novel, and she glanced up at their approach. Can I help you? She inquired in a soft voice. Billy glanced at her closely. Yeah, baby, you could, if you'd only be willing. He leaned over the desk and stared down her open blouse. The young girl blushed slightly, then looked away. We'd like to see Kenyatta, miss, Billy stated quickly, not wanting to really embarrass the woman. She almost jumped up from the chair she had been sitting in. I have to go see if he's in, she stated, as she walked quickly towards the closed door in the rear of the building. Well, I wish I had that effect on women, Jackie said quietly, glancing around the room. Man, that old girl couldn't get away from you quick enough. I'd be willing to bet that you scared her so bad she peed on herself. Bullshit, Billy replied. She was just in a hurry to take care of my request, that's all. Yeah, I dig it. She was such in a hurry that she didn't even bother to get our names, Jackie answered as the door in the rear opened. A tall black man came out dressed in a pair of old Levi's that had seen better days. The white t-shirt he wore was spotlessly clean. He was completely bald and his head had been greased until it had shine on it. The only hair he had possessed was the beard and mustache. The beard was heavy, running down his cheeks until it would have met his sideburns if he had any. The most remarkable thing about him was the jet black eyes that stared out without blinking, giving him a hawkish look that went well with the long, keen nose he had. When he spoke, his voice was so heavy that it sounded as if he was talking from inside a barrel. I'll be goddamn, he began. What we have here. What's happening, Kenyatta? Billy said quickly, glancing from the man. From past experience, Billy knew he couldn't stand to look the man in the eye. It gave him the feeling that Kenyatta was reading his thoughts. Why don't you and your partner come in the rear? You can talk better from my office. Kenyatta stated as he turned his back to the men and led the way back he had came. No one spoke until after they entered the well-furnished rear office. The carpet on the floor was a dark brown, which matched the other furnishing in the room. Posters hung on the wall, but there was painting of black women and men hanging there also. The paintings were well done. Kenyatta waved his hand toward 2 comfortable, overstuffed chairs. You guys make yourselves at home, he said as he walked around the oval desk and sat down in an expensive chair. 2 young black girls sitting in the office got up to go. Ken, the taller of the 2, said, Is there anything we can do for you before we leave? She asked in a velvet voice. Kenyatta glanced over at his guest. Can I have the ladies fix you something? He asked. Maybe a hard drink or some pop or coffee? The tall black woman waited patiently for the men to make up their minds. I wouldn't mind some tea if you have any. Hot, Billy said, leering at the woman. Jackie shook his head. Yeah, I have the same thing, with plenty of sugar. You like what you see, Billy? Kenyatta asked the two women stared. Kenyatta asked as the two women started out the door. The tall sister is my lady, but I don't mind somewhat admiring her. There was a note of pride in his voice as he spoke. Yeah, baby, it really makes a person realize what they mean when they say black is beautiful, Billy replied honestly. I got to give you credit, baby boy. You really have a lady there. You is only skin deep, Billy, Kenyatta answered slowly, then added. But in her case, she is really something else. Besides her good looks, she's a lady, inside and out, a black lady. Is there any difference? Jackie asked sharply. You can bet your ass on it, Kenyatta answered quickly. There's nothing under the sun like a black lady, brother. Well, from what I just saw, I say there ain't many black ladies like the one that just walked out of here, Billy said quickly. Kenyatta laughed. Well, like the white man would ask, what brought you brothers over here today? I know you didn't come just to admire my woman, so give me an idea of what it is, or what it really is. Guns, Billy stated harshly. We need some more pieces as soon as possible. Kenyatta got up from behind his desk and walked up and down the room. You use a lot of guns, man. I mean, you two guys are really good customers. If I were in the gun business, I'd make plenty bread off you two. But, he continued, before either man could say anything, since I'm not in the gun business, every time I sell you guys guns, you're taking guns away from my men. Billy waited until the man paced back towards them before saying in a joking manner, well, baby, we might even join your organization one day. Kenyatta stopped his pacing. No, I couldn't use you two brothers. I don't think. I know you got the nerve, but you're just not the type for my thing. My boys have got to be dedicated. You brothers are dedicated, but not to getting rid of these white pigs that ride around our neighborhoods acting like white gods. Shit, Jackie cursed loudly. When it come to getting rid of some white cops, man, I'd gladly go along with it, just for the fun of it. The way I hate Whitey, I pray for the chance to knock off one of the bastards anytime I can. I wish that was true, Kenyatta stated, staring at the man closely. It's true, Billy stated, and I feel the same way my man does. As Kenyatta stared from one man to the other, the door opened and the tall sister came in carrying a tray with their drinks on it. The men remained silent until the women had come and gone, but all the time she was there, Kenyatta never took his eyes off her. If what you guys say is true, I give you a chance to earn them guns you want, Kenyatta stated quietly. I'm going out on a small job tonight to rid the neighborhood of two nigger haters that work the afternoon shift. If you and your partner will go along on the hit with us, I'll give you both whatever kind of guns you want when we get back. Billy had to swallow twice before he could speak. You mean you going to knock off some white cops tonight? He asked softly, not realizing how low his voice had dropped. I mean some white ass pigs are going to meet their fucking maker tonight, whether or not you two guys will go along with the program or not. Kenyatta answered, his voice revealing the anger that he felt toward the white officers he spoke of. Yeah, he continued, it's going sure as hell be tonight. It sounds good to me, Jackie said as he grinned at his partner. I don't even need the promise of the guns. Just the thought of getting rid of some of them motherfuckers is enough for me. Well, not me, Billy said quickly. I got to know if it's planned right and everything. You just don't knock off cops unless you got it down right. How do you think all of them white cops that have been getting knocked off in this city got hit? If it hadn't been right, somebody would have been busted by now, Kenyatta stated. Not bragging, but just stating the fact. You mean you and your boys are responsible for them hits we've been reading about in the papers? Billy asked. Do you know of any other niggas in this city with enough balls to knock off a cop? Kenyatta slowly asked, watching the two men in front of him closely. I thought, Billy began, that you were only responsible for the hits being made on the dope men in various neighborhoods. That too is part of our program, Kenyatta replied. But it's not just that. Somebody has to rid the city of these funky white cops, and we are doing that. Again, he glanced closely at the two men, then added, I'm waiting on a list of dope men, big ones, not just neighborhood pushers. And when I get the list, brother, you ain't reading nothing in the papers yet compared to what will be in them then. A list, Jackie said. You mean with the name of white suppliers, the Dagos, and other big men? His voice held a note of disbelief in that Kenyatta had become accustomed to hearing whenever he mentioned the list to other people. That's right, little brother. I got a Dago getting it together for me. He's charging over 10 grand just for the list, Kenyatta said truthfully. 10 grand? Billy exploded. You mean you're going to shell out that kind of dough just for a piece of paper with some names of dope pushers on it? Not just some dope pushers, but the top pushers in the motherfucking city. Every motherfucking honky that has his hand in dope. When I get it, I'm going to cause such a panic in this city for dope that a dope fiend had better catch the first thing smoking towards Chicago or New York, but there won't be any dope coming in for quite a while. That's quite a program you cut out for yourself, man, Jackie stated. There was a note in his voice that revealed that he didn't really believe what the man in front of him was saying. He didn't want to come out and call Kenyatta a liar, but it was there in his voice for anyone to hear. Yeah, brother, I don't ask you to believe me. Just have a little patience and I'll prove it to you. When it jumps off, I have some work for you boys, because I'll be needing outside help every now and then. Yeah, my man. Jackie began, you're definitely giving yourself a big job, brother. And if it's like you say, you're going to need everybody you can get. Not only us, but 50 more men just like us. Kenyatta shook his head. Don't think I'm a fool, brother, because I ain't. I got 25 men plus 15 women who are in our organization, and every one of them is dedicated, so I ain't fooling myself. My people are trained. Every one of them has one thought in their mind. Kill the honky. That's our rally cry. Death to Whitey. As he spoke, his voice rose with the power of his conviction. Jackie thought to himself that this brother is mad. He's stone crazy. He believes every fucking thing he's saying. There's no doubt in either man's mind of that. Kenyatta was serious about everything he said. The thought of him having over 40 people believing in him was crazy in itself. That many people following in his path would give a madman quite a bit of power. Kenyatta leaned over the desk. Staring at the men in front of him, his eyes were lit up with an unholy glow that burned too brightly. There was madness there, yet the fire that burned there was also the mark of a strong man, a leader, the kind of man that people could follow with complete trust. It can be done, he stated, pounding on the desk to get his point across. It can be done, and it will be done. This city will be rid of dope pushers and race-hating cops. You can bet it. You can bet on it. I believe you, brother. When you state it like that, I can't help but believe you, Billy said truthfully. And at the time he did believe. It was one of Kenyatta's strong points, the ability to make people believe in his dream. Whether he could make it true or not, he could make people believe in him. As he talked, Jackie was visualizing Kenyatta talking in front of an audience. The gesture the man would use, the way he had standing with his head thrown back. He would and could impress a lot of people. Jackie smiled encouragingly. Man, you got something about you, Kenyatta. I don't know what it is, but you got it, brother. Yeah, man, Billy agreed. The man sure got something about him. Here he done talked us into going on quite a job with him tonight, free of charge. If that ain't the power of persuasion, I don't know what it is. Wait a second, Billy, Jackie said slowly. I ain't agreed to nothing yet. I want to hear how we're supposed to go about this here before I give my okay on it. I ain't just jumping up and shooting no cops without knowing if it's going to be a way to get away or not. I don't plan on getting busted for killing no police. Not this boy. My mother ain't had no food that I know of. Kenyatta studied Jackie icily. Whether or not you agree, brother, you're in it now. You know too much about it for me to let you walk out of here. It's damn near impossible for you not to go on it, if you know what I mean. Nah, man, I don't know what you mean. If you're thinking about making us prisoners in this motherfucker, I don't think I dig that. Jackie stated sharply, slowly getting out of his chair. Kenyatta waved him back down. Just stop a minute, brother, and think. If you're for real, it shouldn't disturb you that I'm taking no risks. I can't risk my men by allowing you to leave. No way. It just can't be done. Shit. Jackie got up, towering over the man by at least 4 inches, but Kenyatta didn't back down. I don't like the idea of being held against my will by anyone, Kenyatta, he said. His face was a mirror of his feelings, filled with anger. Just hold on, partner, Billy said, quickly getting to his feet also. Kenyatta is cool, man, so don't get upset. All we going to do, Kenyatta began, is stay upstairs until it's time to leave tonight. I'll run it all down to you when we get upstairs, and I promise you, you'll dig it. Billy patted his partner on the back. Be cool, man. Everything is going to be alright. Have I ever led you wrong, Jackie? I mean it, man. You're my partner, so I'm asking you, buddy, to just have faith in me this time. You know, I don't ask you that lightly, Jackie, so just do me the favor and trust in me, okay? Jackie stared at his partner. When you put it that way, I have to go along with the program, but I don't like it, baby. I don't like it at all. Kenyatta smiled encouragingly at the men as he came around the desk and patted them on the shoulder. Don't worry, my man. I trust you, and I know you've been fucking with some dope. So if I can trust a would-be dope fiend, I believe you should be able to put a little faith in me. As Jackie scowled angrily, Billy laughed out loud. He's got us there, Jackie. The man ain't too far wrong. Jackie, you done had a blow, so if he can trust us, we should be able to put a little faith in him. Yeah, baby, yeah, Jackie replied as he followed to the door, but he didn't like it one bit. All I got to say is that the plan had better be a good one. It's a good one, Kenyatta answered as he led the way toward a side door that led upstairs. It's so good you'll fall in love with it. He laughed loudly as they began to climb up the narrow stairway. At the top, a closed, heavy oak door greeted the men. As they approached the door, an eye peeped through a small slit. At the sight of Kenyatta, the door began to open, and as the men entered the apartment, the sound of female laughter came to them. Well, the way them women sound, I might enjoy my short stay up here after all, Billy stated as he glanced around trying to catch sight of the women. I'm quite sure you'll enjoy it, Kenyatta stated. Because all we're going to do is have big fun until it's time to go. Yeah, he repeated. I really mean big fun.